Dick Johnson. He nearly flicked his head out the window twice.
Cameron
when he
McConville
impacted with the concrete at the top of the hill. We've seen it again with Win Percy. It must be a safety consideration that we look at next year.
Mandatory in many races in North America, Doug, and a lot of speedway drivers won't even think about going in without their neck leash, I think.
To reduce the whiplash.
Yeah. Be interested to hear the story from Win Percy when he gets back to the pits, exactly what caused that accident.
The arguments against must involve difficulty in removing a driver from, say, a burning car or an inverted car with a fuel leak.
No, I wouldn't have thought so with window nets. In NASCAR racing, anyone that's drilled, the window nets are in the same spot. The release points are identical on all cars, and it's a lot quicker to get a window net down than to try and open a door that's crushed and get the window down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's the safety factor of the driver that is just so important. And these cars are travelling so fast, as we saw with the Dick Johnson car. That happened in just a split second, where Dick was at probably 180 k's to a dead stop across the road. And you finish up getting hurt or killed when your head hits a concrete wall because it stretches out of the car.
So it seems odd that many drivers resist the introduction of the window net. They don't like it, what, rattling against their helmets? Or
It wouldn't be the drivers, Doug, until it's allowed by the sanctioning body, by CAMS, we wouldn't be permitted to fit them to the cars. It would be deemed an illegal component. Well, so it's something we have to force through.
Peter Jackson. Sorry, Alan. Peter
more
Jackson.
drama.
Yep, Glenn Seaton, the car, look at this, they have a problem with this. It's popped a tyre. He's had a moment. Let's go down to Andy.
As you can see, it has had a big moment here. The tyre shredded off the rim. The Peter Jackson boys doing a little bit of panel beating. I don't know if they'd get their licence as panel beaters, though. There's smoke coming off the rear brakes. Alan Jones is at the helm. I have not seen what's happened, but they are replacing that front right tyre, and AJ is off.
Thanks, Andy. We'll get an update on that too, what actually caused it. Car number 30 was running fourth, has rejoined in fourth place, so it hasn't dropped anything out of that. And the race order's still the same. Mark Scaife, Jim Richards' car over Larry Perkins, Greg Hansford. Up to third now is Wayne Gardner. Might be timely now to check out the top 10 for you, courtesy of Caltex. Our thanks to them. Race is heading up to 4.5 hours. Scaife and Richards lead. Perkins and Hansford in second. Gardner and Jones now in third. Seaton and Jones up to fourth. Brabham and Olofsson to fifth. In sixth spot, it's, well, the Mazira Percy car's going nowhere. Dunstan Harrington move up now to sixth. Then it's Brabham and Parsons, Crompton and Gibbs, and Jones and Crick also now well within the top 10. More drama to unfold here at Mount Panorama. Whatever you do, don't go away. And welcome back to Mount Full of Drama. It's the 2 E's 93 lap 112 of 161, just over 4.5 hours completed. Car number 30 as we went to the break was in for a quick pit stop. It'll be back in for another check shortly. We're following car number 28, the Kevin Waldock Komatsu entry, the Falcon EB. Like Alan Moffat's car and Gary Wilmington's car, first time on the Bathurst course for this team. And Kevin Waldock, who was to have driven today, but we mentioned earlier, came ill in the early part of the week, has done an excellent job with Brett Peters, stepping into the car and taking over the team at the last moment.
For a car that was parked at the side of the circuit for a while, about the same time Alan Moffat's car went out of the race. They've done remarkably well to come back to 16th position.
Michael Preston also in that car as we pick up on car number 19. This was the second entry of the Lansvale Smash Repairs team. Was position 26 actually. So the car is wound up against the wall over there. This is what happened. He got it loose.
Yeah, not a place to get loose. It's pretty quick through that kink there. And the concrete tells the story.
Spilling all the luggage out of the boot.
But he's sliding along the side of the concrete. Gee, it's a tough job. And there it rests for the rest of the day. I'll be interested to see if the pace car comes out. That may be considered to be in a dangerous position. Wilson McShane.
Well, I don't think I'd like to. They might have to look at that with a pace car. But, well, this is the car that John Hewson was working on that we saw earlier today, the Komatsu car of Kevin Waldock's. And Joanna Griggs, I think, has the man in question in the pits.
I certainly do. A very familiar face. I have with me the opposition leader of the Federal Parliament, Dr. John Hewson. A little different to question time, Dr. John.
Well, this is better than question time, much more enjoyable. Although I wouldn't mind getting the other guy out here for a while. We'd have a bit of fun, I think.
You have definitely a penchant for fast cars. You have quite a collection yourself. How much would you like to be out there today?
I'd love to be out there. I don't think anybody would trust me, but I'd love to be out there. So I have to settle for being in the pits, which is a fantastic experience. It's a great race today.
It's your second year in the pits, but it's by far the 7th time you've been here, is that right?
Yes, that's right. I've been here 7 or 8 years. It's second time in the pits and second time with this team, the Komatsu team. It's a pity Kevin can't be with us. He's got a bad heart, but I don't think I'd want to be his nurse today in hospital, I've got to tell you. I think he'd be a hard man to live with right now.
That's right. Okay, well, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joanna. With John Hewson, who really does love this race and comes out each year. I noticed with the tow truck over there, Alan, on the approach shot to Caltex, no pace car out there. I would hope that nothing else repeats the incident that got the car into the wall.
He's on the right side of the track. The cars coming off Conrad will be fading to the left, so him being on the right is reasonably safe, but Murphy's Law, just because he's parked there, somebody's likely to hit him. My congratulations to Kevin Waldock for producing this Komatsu Falcon. He started the project practically the same month as we did with our Synovus Falcon, and the effort that he must have put in and his boys to get it, and compliments that it's still running, Kevin.
Watching the Donahers come down the side of the mountain, car 21.
Now, these guys have done a fabulous job.
They sure have.
As Chris Economaki would call them, a low buck team. Car number 21, 12th position in the race. So Laurie Donaher at the wheel, I believe, at the moment.
Yeah, looks like it. And they've had more than their fair share of work this week. It's a second-hand car, of course, not quite a few seasons. They discovered, and the scrutineers discovered, that the engine was actually mounted 2 inches further back than was legal. So they had to revise a lot of things like prop shafts, engine mounts, engine placings, to try and get the engine back into its legal position, which took up most of Wednesday night. The car is now legal and obviously running very, very strongly. It's an ex-GIO car that used to be run by Mark Gibbs in the late 80s. Built by Ron Missan, who was the head engineer at the team at the time. So it just shows the sort of life you can get out of some of these Group A touring cars.
Older cars, and I must say it highlights the level of scrutineering. The ARDC have a savage reputation, and people at home may not realize the grind that we are put through. It starts on Tuesday all day long. The cars are inspected to the nth degree. And believe me, they go after every little thing, and so they should. At the premier event of the year, classic event of world standing, and the cars have got to be legal. So when things are found, they're changed, or the cars don't practice.
Mokapan Premium Coffee, the sponsor of the car share today by Laurie and son Michael, and they're doing a fabulous job up to 12th, which goes to show it's a privateer. You've got to give it a shake to be able to produce a result. You've got to go out there and try it. They've run a couple of rounds of the Touring Car Championship, no big budget. They picked up a sponsor on the way to Bathurst, and they've been the centre of attention in the pits too. Time to check out for you how your favourite is going in the field. Scaife and Richards on lap 114, lead by 18.10. Scaife and Richards, we believe, 2 pit stops to go. Perkins has told us he thinks he can go with 1. Gardner and Jones now up to 3rd in the second Telecom Mobile Net Commodore. Seaton and Jones, Alan Jones that is, in the Peter Jackson car 30, run in 4th spot, and in 5th it's Brabham and Olofsson. In 6th spot, Dunstan and Harrington. What a job they're doing in the Quicks Pepsi Commodore VP. Then Brabham and Parsons in the PJ Falcon. In 8th spot, Neil Crompton doing a fine job in the GIO Australia Commodore. Then it's Jones and Crick in the Ampol Max 3 Commodore, and rounding out the 10, but the car is now out of commission, is Mazir and Percy, so everyone else moves up a spot.
11th spot held by the product Commodore, Pearson and Stewart. They're on 106 laps. 12th spot, Finnegan and Rogers still circulating in the Third Town Supermarkets Commodore. Then Johnson and Wall, position 13. Donaher, father and son, in 14th spot. Radisich and McConville, 15th position. 16th is held by Morris and Winkelhock. Blanchard and Allam in 17th place, Trimboli and Harris 18th, Preston and Peters 19th. The leader in the 2-litre class, Smith and Bates in the Caltex Corolla in 20th position.
From 21, Brock and Clellan still struggling on the Mobil 1 Commodore. Position 22, McColl and Gazzard, the second GIO entry. Position 23, car 52, Cotter and Dullman. At 24, 17, Johnson and Bow. Well, they're slipping down the order as that car ended its life against the wall at the top of the hill. And 25, car 26, Lusty and Heffernan. Out of position 26, car 19, Wilson and McShane. Well, that car's just retired too at the bottom of the mountain. Out of 27, 22, English and Yulden. Out of 28, car 13, Rogers and Hopwood, Corolla. Out of 29, car 50, Masterton and Hills. And rounding out the 30, car 79, Conway and Gardner.
Also retired the O'Brien Callahan car on the top of the hill. So too Ashby, Reid, Stratton and Madden, Longhurst and Soper are out. The Golson car stays out for a while, comes in for a while. Then it's the Bonbos and Jack car 36 showing on the road over Ellery and Cassati. Then the full Fitzgerald Diacoke BMW, Binding and Dartell, and McMillan and Martin. That's how some of your drivers have gone. You can see the rest. We'll be back shortly at Mount Panorama. Back at Mount Panorama, Bathurst, and the lead car, the number 1 car, has gone to the pits. Let's go down to Andy.
Yes, thanks very much, Mike. Mark Scape has just stepped out of the Winfield car. Jim Richards is in. They've poured petrol in. They've put 4 new tyres on, and they've also changed the front brake pads. We've been going now just a little over 30 seconds, so far it is a very quick stop. They're bolting the final, the right front on. And Jimbo is just about off. I must admit, I haven't seen Perkins go past.
Wouldn't be too much in it.
45 seconds, that stop. You still with us, Andy?
Yes, mate, I'm still down here, Mark.
Can you confirm they did actually make a front pad change, that stop?
I can confirm they did make the front pad change. They're putting him in the tray now. I'm certainly not going to pick one up and show you that.
Thanks, mate.
What else do you want him to do for an apprenticeship?
I reckon they do one brake pad change.
That's interesting, isn't it? Brake pad wear going through the roof. They were scheduled to only do 1. They've done 2. And Larry reckons he's going to get through the rest of the race without a change. Boy, that's going to be an advantage.
And he certainly did go through while they were in the pits, so he assumes the front running position in the 2S 1000 and reckons he's only got the 1 stop ticket to make.
Yeah. As you see so many times, there's Mark Scaife. 2 stints, one after the other. Boy, would he be spent. He's only a young fella, but look at the sweat pouring off his face. He's given it everything.
He's done a fine job, Mark Scaife. Oh, the Golson and Golson's back in again. Just a quick pit stop. I'm sure they do this for television coverage. It's not a bad idea. So they continue, and as Gary pointed out earlier today, they have... Ray has a perfect finishing record here, and they look like they'll be around. They'll probably have made more stops than anyone, but they'll be around.
So Greg Hansford continues to lead the 2's 1000. She uses plenty of road.
Making you nervous, Michael?
That does, just a little, because we saw a couple of outside rears just climb onto the grass there earlier this morning.
It's a brave move. There's a little extra bitumen's been put there, almost like an escape road, and the clever drivers have been using it. And I must say, I think Greg on that occasion thought he was on 2 wheels again.
It's just amazing, Alan, this race you would know so many times how things can just fall into place. They were 48 seconds down after that stop. Pace car came out straight away and allowed Hansford to make up all that room. Those are the sort of things you need on your side to win this motor race, don't you?
A little bit of luck goes a long way at Mount Panorama, but let's not take it away from the preparation that's been evident in both these cars. Neither one of them has had a serious stop. They've had scheduled stops, and there's no sin in stopping for brake pads in this place.
Not if you need them.
Well, Mark Scaife came in, stepped out of the car. Jim Richards is out there now. Let's go back to Andy.
Yeah, thanks very much, Mike. Huffing and puffing on his Evian water. Mark, how you feeling?
Yeah, good, mate. The car's probably as good as it started, to be honest. We're using the same revs. We're braking at the same places. The car's absolutely fantastic.
Mate, with the tyres going on and off and the pace car in the middle, it's been a real cat and mouse game between yourself and the Castrol Perkins car.
Yeah, it has been. You know, it's been a good battle all day. It's fantastic. Like, this is the way the racing should be. And, you know, Jimmy's out there now attacking.